Hey everybody, welcome to day 86, Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full-time reseller supporting her family. It is September 2nd, 2024, so we are into September. All right, I'm going to start right off with the reset to zero because I am reset to zero. I am ready to roll for tomorrow as soon as I get a couple things off my mind and out to you guys. So joining me on this Reset to Zero challenge. And if you haven't tried it, go ahead, put it in the comments, join us. It is transformative having a clear workspace for the next day and getting everything done. All those little odds and ends off your desk. It's really transformative. Try it. If you're not sure, try it for a day or two and then put it in the comments and I'll hold you accountable. All right, but joining me here on the Reset to Zero are Jill of Rusted Truck Relics, Jason Santy Swapper, Shar Fabulous Flamingos, KathySingz, Nick Mr. C Chats, Vanessa Brightest Holidays, Judith R, and Pam of Whimsy and Such. All right, so my head is kind of all over the place. Today was my first day where I was putting those boulders in my schedule. I talked about it yesterday that I was upping the boulders in my schedule, those big blocks of time from 3 hours. Normally I set aside 3 hours of listing time every day. I upped it to 4, which I also got up an hour earlier. I always do that in the fourth quarter. I'm starting the fourth quarter early this year. So I'm starting it September 1st. So got up an hour earlier, put an extra hour into my listing block. I hope to be finishing an hour early, maybe starting tomorrow. Tonight was book club, so that didn't quite happen, but I should be finishing up work an hour early every day and kind of readjusting my schedule that way. Because Molly said, the most successful people, they get up in the morning and they knock it out. So I'm going to try. I'm not really a morning person. I'm like a meat of the day, like mid-afternoon person. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a night owl. Like, get me in the middle of the day. That's when I'm my best. All right. I don't know about you. I know we probably have some definite night owls out there and some early morning folks. I don't meet too many people that are good in the middle of the day like I am, but let me know if you are. All right. So today the quote was focus on the solution, not the problem. All right. And I've been doing that. We've been doing that for a couple of days. We talked a lot about our hows and how we're going to do that and how we're going to get there and focus. And I think focusing on the solution as opposed to the problem is really good. I like that. And my word of intention today was focus. So I focused for those 4 hours on listing, and it was good because I didn't get a lot volume wise listed, but I had these things that I knew were going to take me a good chunk of time. Like I had a lot of jewelry to test. Usually my son does that for me, but he's away at school, so he won't be doing that. So I had to just bite the bullet and get it done and focus. So I did some jewelry today. And I got that done and off my plate and listed some higher dollar value items because, they turned out to be gold. So that was kind of cool. All right. Would have been a real bummer if they were all like gold plated or, costume jewelry, but there were a couple of good ones in there. So that was an exciting little surprise because sometimes you just don't know what you're getting into. Like that pile could have been like a bunch of duds, but there are a bunch of good ones in there. So what were you guys listing today? What were you doing? And I'm kind of curious. I haven't heard really any feedback on how, if anybody's asking themselves that question instead of can or should, how. All right. So we had book club tonight. So that is what I'm going to chat about for a minute or two here. The link is in the show notes to sign up for the book club. It is free. It is something we do from C Chats, and I'm I'm more grateful for the book club participants tonight than I am angry. Angry because I need to rewrite my story brands for a third time. Yes, we're reading Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And so I'm angry that I have to do it. Not angry. I'm like vexed, let's say, that I have to do it for the third time. But, I was listening and I'm so incredibly grateful for Vanessa of Brightest Holidays, Jason Santee Swapper, KathySingz, because they kind of guided me through this because they all have really strong missions and something that they're the authority on and really passionate about. And, I started the book club and I'm just thinking and I'm listening to them and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. They have those things. Like, I just sell people stuff. I didn't use the word stuff, but I just sell people stuff. That's it. But what was the one rule I had at the beginning of book club is we can't just say we're just a reseller. And here I was doing it, right? Like I'm just reselling people stuff. So they kind of poked and prodded me. And, there is a story behind what I do, and it kind of gets into the why. I don't really talk about it a whole heck of a lot, but the reason why I do this business is because by training, I am an environmental scientist, a microbiologist, and I worked in the environmental field, did a lot of research, was, heavily invested in that. And for me, that field of work was, even though that's where my heart was utterly depressing and really it really bummed me out, like going to like the worst, not the worst disasters, but just seeing like the environmental impact and just like everything you did, like working in a lab or just going out and doing river testing was like assessing the damage. And it was always getting worse. Like there was just, for me, it was just too much. It was so disheartening and it was so discouraging. And I felt like no matter how hard I worked, I couldn't make a difference in in that realm. So I don't do that. But that's the reason why I do consignment, and I wanted to run a sustainable business. So I hadn't worked in the environmental field in a while. I did project management in technology, which I really enjoyed. But I didn't feel like at the end of the day, I was really making a positive contribution to society. So that is why I do consignment. That is my why, because I feel like, I could go to work during the day and I could start this business and I would do something that was having a positive impact on the environment and on my community and teaching people to shop in a sustainable way and giving them an option. So that's my why. And at the end of the day, like I could go home and, feel good about what I was doing, feel good about the world I am creating and leaving for my kids and making a positive difference. So that's kind of where the two worlds, it doesn't seem obvious on the surface and I don't really talk about it, but that is the why I do what I do. And why do I do consignment chats? It's because I want to help other people do what I do. Like I've been a very blessed reseller. I, have run this business for 13 years. I've been successful at it. I've supported my family and, helped the environment, helped reduce people's carbon footprint, make this, way of life a little more appealing to people, hopefully. And I want to help other people do the same thing. And that's why Consignment Chats is my, passion project, let's say. That's why I show up every day and I do the things, is because I want to help other people make that jump that I made and support their families in a way that they feel good about. And, maybe, environmentalism or making that kind of difference isn't your passion. But maybe there's another reason you want to do reselling. Well, I can get behind that too. Like I love everybody's mission when they tell me about it, and I just understand the passion behind it. And I think so how that ties into building a story brand is that what I just told you, I have not really embraced or talked about in either one of my businesses, in Consignment Chats or in Country Consignment. And I think it really does all tie together. And story brand is going to be a way to do that, right? So like with my business, I'm helping people shop sustainably and giving them options to buy secondhand and to save things and to not have to buy new products that are made Lord knows where, or throw money into a big box store. And with Consignment Chats, I am helping other people grow their reselling businesses and, step forward and do what they're passionate about. All right, so that's all the whys. So think about your why. I can't believe I've been doing this long and I haven't talked about my why. Never even occurred to me before tonight that I really need to figure out a better way to story brand that and really talk about the why behind what I do and why I run this crazy business I do. Hopefully that's not too much for y'all. Oh my goodness. It's almost too much for me. My brain is reeling. So, all right, reset to zero. I don't know what happened today on eBay, but I spent a total of 3 hours shipping. We had like it wasn't a record breaking day. Like if I had a really big expensive item, it would have been, but it was close to like a record breaking day. It might have been like our highest day of the summer. Or in at least a couple months. It was just crazy. Like somebody turned like we had Etsy sales, we had Poshmark sales, we had mostly eBay sales because that's where my focus is. And speaking of focus, I was happy to see Vanessa is kind of joining me along on this thing, is excluding other things and really focusing in on what works. And so she's putting those boulders in her schedule as well for listing and really just doing it. Big sales means summer is over. Yes. All right. Well, I know you don't have the typical summer slowdown in your niche, but I don't know. Lucky you. Not every niche does. Not every, like a lot of consignment stores that are in tourist towns have the opposite of what we refer to as summer slowdown. They have more of a winter slowdown. But yeah. All right. So think about focus, think about narrowing down. So far, I hate to say it, but I jokingly said yesterday, like, I've been working so hard and putting these listings up. Why aren't my sales showing it? Like, I feel like I need immediate gratification and I wasn't getting it. Well, today I got it. I don't know if that was a fluke based on all the work I put in, but I'm going to keep you guys like up to date, the highs, the lows of this like intense focus on really just building my eBay store, because that is where I make the vast majority of my income, and really just cutting everything else out and really focusing in on that. So I'm going to tell you how it is along the journey. Like I said, I canceled my Poshmark sharing bot. I'm not doing my live sales. I am on a diet on social media, and we'll see if all this adds up to like me hitting my yearly goal. I think it will. I think that's the how, but stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. I'll keep it real, and I'll keep it environmentally friendly too. All right, guys, have a great night. I will see you on day 87. Bye.